This week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian, the body snatcher Whyte, and Jermaine Franklin. Get this. Dillian Whyte challenges Jermaine Franklin to a street fight. Okay, let's read. Mr. Charles Braun. Dillian Whyte lost his cool with his hand-picked opponent, Jermaine Franklin, in a face-off show on Matchroom Boxing. Eddie Hearn got Whyte worked up with the boiling broth when he told the little-known American fringe contender, Franklin, which is 21-0 with 14 KOs, that he'll make millions fighting Anthony Joshua next if he defeats Dillian Whyte this Saturday in their main event on DAZN at Wembley Arena in London. The move by Hearn motivated Franklin with the chance to make life-changing money. Fighting Joshua upset Whyte because he figures that he will be the next one to make the money with AJ. And he says the reality is Whyte doesn't deserve a fight against Joshua, given that he's lost 2 out of his last 4 fights by knockout and is fighting on the same level as journeyman Derek Chisora right now. Whyte has transformed himself into Chisora 2.0. Wow. Okay, I'm going to stop there with that. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty when he lost his cool. Wow, this is a lot. It says he's an asshole. He's thinking, all right, let's have some fun, bro, said Whyte. He's thinking I'm intimidated, said Franklin. I'll take you outside and show you what intimidation is, said Whyte. That shit, don't intimidate me, said Franklin. I guarantee you it will be tough, said Whyte. You stand outside and you think I'll be scared of you, said Franklin. I'll do work to you outside. I'll put work, said Whyte. Don't talk shit, bro. Don't talk shit, bro. I'll put work in. Don't talk shit, bro. Well, do the same work over here, said Franklin. I'm not worried about none of that shit. Relax, bro, said Whyte. Keep it that way, said Franklin. People know about me, said Whyte. I've never ever heard about you. I put work in. It's normal. I put in work for years. He said, all right, put in work on the 26th, said Franklin. Cool, said Whyte. Well, November 26th at Wembley Arena, a big fight for the heavyweight division, said Hearn. Dillian Whyte, a former heavyweight world title challenger, against Jermaine Franklin, 21-0, an undefeated American. A chance for him to protect himself right onto the elite level of the heavyweights. Dillian Whyte must win to earn himself a shot against the big boys once again in the heavyweight division. And wherever you are in the world, don't miss the action, live and exclusive on DAZN, said Hearn, saving the day and calming both fighters down. Let me counterpunch. First off, good play by Eddie Hearn. You know, and Eddie Hearn did fire this up. Eddie Hearn was he was a match. And he lit the stem. And of course, Dillian Whyte was the dynamite. You know, and it's a good motivation factor because Eddie, he did that on purpose, you know, because Jermaine Franklin is a professional fighter from here in America that has never been defeated. A lot of times that is very hard to go. I mean, it's a lot involved with beating an undefeated fighter, especially when he has the will to win. And Whyte just getting mad, telling him, like, you know, I'll take you outside, we'll fight and this, that, and the other. That just shows you that he was upset because he knew and he knows what this means to him. Dillian Whyte knows, bro, that this, if he loses to Jermaine Franklin, it's the end of him on a certain level. See, if he loses to Jermaine Franklin, there won't be any main events. He won't be any headline name. He'll be the guy that got beat by somebody that he doesn't know who he is. And since he doesn't know who he is, that's why this is always a risk, fighting somebody that you feel that's an easy pick'ems. See, he even said, well, bro, I don't know who you are, bro. Nobody know. That type of shit, well, you're giving yourself away because you should have fought, Chris Arreola, somebody that at least Andy Ruiz fought. You know, Andy's kind of out of pocket right now because he has a showdown with Wilder, understandably. Charles Martin, Luis Ortiz, like someone that we know he should be fighting. See, I gave Dillian Whyte all types of shit when he picked this guy, Jermaine Franklin, to come over to America. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing that for? And then Charles Martin called him out before Charles Martin got beat by Ortiz. Right? And this was before that fight was even finalized. And that fight was easily finalized because they're both with Al Heyman, right? So, you know, but before that, you know, Charles Martin was calling out Dillian Whyte. And Charles Martin doesn't have a bad resume. They both got beat by Joshua. You know, both of them have not fought Luis Ortiz, which he fought Luis Ortiz and put him down. And Adam Kalnaki's been beaten twice by Helenius, and Helenius has been knocked out by a couple guys. Recently, Deontay Wilder. You know, so it's not a foregone conclusion what type of fight that would be. You know, I would pick Whyte to be the favorite. Obviously, in a Charles Martin fight, I walk this earth like a god. Martin. But people know who Charles Martin is. He's been to the UK in front of thousands of people. You know what I mean? He's got that money. He was the IBF. He's the former IBF champion. You know, like those type of things should have took place, right? Instead of fights like this. And he knows, he feels disrespected because he's like, look at this guy that nobody knows his name and nobody knows who he is. But you made this guy who he is. You made this guy credible. And now you're losing your shit because Eddie Hearn has offered him an opportunity to fight someone that you've had a hard on to fight for the last 4 or 5 years after taking that first L. Then you took a second L. Then you took a third L. You know, but first of all, let me counterpunch Charles Brown. You know, he's like, oh, well, you're on the level of Derek Chisora. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, if he's Derek Chisora 2.0, well, that doesn't make, you know, Tyson Fury look any better because that's the opponent that he chose. So they're still working and they're still getting good fights and championship fights. So you can't really say that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't go there with that. But obviously that's his opinion and he's entitled to it, right? But I just think it's crazy that Dillian Whyte flipped out like that, you know, and I think it's just him being very anxious because he knows what's at stake. You know, and Jermaine Franklin, you know, he ain't backing down either. You know, and maybe he does look intimidating because you remember I read a couple of times in this article that Dillian Whyte, he has the dreads, has the beard, he's this looking, you know, he's this he's this fucking guy, yeah. Right, so I think that Dillian Whyte, you know, does lose his shit, and I think he's at a point where he knows he has to make a statement. But you guys tell me what you think about Dillian Whyte losing his cool and offering to fight Jermaine Franklin out back. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.